how likely is it that this evidence is going to emerge if Beijing is going to do everything in its power to prevent that? And I think the answer is not very likely. They will have covered their tracks. They will have intimidated everybody involved, and they're not going to cooperate with any investigation.
What do you think the reason is behind the FBI declaring this in the manner that it has? It's out of step, it should be noticed, with many other US agencies.
Yes, a lot of people have been coming out with all kinds of strange conspiracy theories about this. But actually, a number of US intelligence agencies have recently been changing their tune. There was the Energy Department, which came out with a similar statement a few days ago. And I think the timing of this is all to do with politics in Washington. After the Republicans won control of the House of Representatives, they were able to set up an investigative committee with the power to subpoena government officials like Dr. Fauci and all those who've been involved in the financing of the activities of the EcoHealth Alliance, which was closely tied up with the research that was going on in Wuhan at the laboratories there. So that means the whole sort of political wind in Washington has shifted, and we can expect to see a lot more information at least about what the United States has been doing to fund this kind of gain-of-function research.
Okay. And from your point of view, is it plausible that the source of the virus could have been a Chinese government-controlled lab?
Well, I think there's overwhelming circumstantial evidence which points to this. There isn't a smoking gun that will convince the skeptics about it. And to be fair to everyone involved in this debate, the consequences of the US government saying that they have definite proof of this thing or another thing would be absolutely earth-shattering. So I think before we look at that, they've got to be very careful about what they accuse the Chinese government of doing. And it's clear to me after writing the book that although you can be convicted in a British court of murder by circumstantial evidence, if you're going to accuse the Chinese government or at least the Chinese Communist Party of mass murder, you better have pretty substantial evidence that is almost irrefutable. And then you've got to ask, well, how likely is it that this evidence is going to emerge if Beijing is going to do everything in its power to prevent that? And I think the answer is not very likely. They will have covered their tracks. They will have intimidated everybody involved. And they're not going to cooperate with any investigation. And because, frankly, they would, it would just be an enormous earthquake. They have to pay compensation. I mean, the Communist Party would fall. I mean, they couldn't really ever admit to that.
Yeah, huge implications here. And the one big takeaway really is that if the FBI has come out and said this, it better damn sure have some very convincing proof indeed. And it did. And indeed it should do in order to come out so publicly on this.
And if you enjoyed that, you can listen to me, Kate Borsay, every evening, Monday to Thursday, 8 until 10 on the evening edition on Times Radio.